he should be the nominee.
I think he did the right thing, and now it's time for him to rest.
Biden drops out. The president leaving the race, staying in office, now endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris to be the nominee. We're live with voters, how this sizes up in history and what comes next in the White House contest.
All right, as far as our weather is concerned, we're looking at a couple of storms that popped up late evening. We'll show it to you and talk about what to expect for your Monday. That's all coming up.
And top cop for 1 year, we sit down with DC's police chief. Are we really seeing a sizable drop in crime and what she hopes to achieve in the near future? And mangled metal in Maryland. What we know about this tractor trailer slamming into a bridge, hitting a car, getting lodged on that bridge. The stunning images from the Capitol Beltway. And good Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. Another chapter in American history is being written tonight. 106 days until the November election. President Joe Biden is bowing out of his re-election bid, now endorsing his VP Kamala Harris. Our Dave Laval is standing by live from the White House, hearing from voters as the 2024 race turns into a brand new ball game. But first, national correspondent Maddie Beertemple reports from DC.
President Joe Biden will not seek re-election. He made the announcement on X, writing, quote, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president." Shortly after, he endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. The move comes after intensifying calls for the president to drop out after the June 27th debate, the latest from West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin on ABC This Week.
The time has come for him to pass the torch to a new generation.
Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal said the president's decision put the country before himself.
And he has helped to cement his legacy.
Former President Donald Trump reacted on Truth Social, writing, "All those around him knew that he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't." House Speaker Mike Johnson told ABC Democrats could face legal trouble if they try to replace President Biden.
14 million Democrats voted to make Joe Biden the nominee.
The president's endorsement of Harris could also complicate the Democratic National Convention, according to George Washington University professor Casey Burgett.
Remember that she has 0 delegates attached to her name.
But Vice President Harris says she intends to earn the nomination and win in November.
Temple reporting the country is learning of the news in real time, including what we hear from the White House. The president is expected to return there later this week from Delaware, where he's been isolating for COVID. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us live outside of the White House. Dave, plenty of mixed opinions here. How are voters reacting to this news?
I can tell you the crowd is significantly smaller than when we first got out here this afternoon, shortly after the president's announcement. His supporters say as much as they want him to stay in the race, they back his decision not to seek re-election.
And I think it had to have been incredibly difficult for him.
DC's Patricia Green supports the president's decision. She came to the White House to express her gratitude.
I think he did the patriotic thing. I think he did the thing that's best for our country.
I thought he was going to stick it out.
Arlington's Michael Willey delivered a different message.
The Democrats claim to be the party of democracy. We had a primary. 14 million people voted for Joe. He should be the nominee.
Large crowds gathered at the White House shortly after the president's announcement, many including New Jersey's Pastor William and Marie Statham. They shared mixed feelings on the decision.
I think he should resign. He's not doing a good job.
I think the president has done the best job that he could, and now it's time for him to rest and for people to take care of him.
You could say the Stathams are a house divided. She's a Democrat. He's Republican.
I want Trump to get in there.
The question is, who will the former president face in November? The president threw his support to Vice President Kamala Harris. Marie Statham is fine with that.
I'm hoping that they do a search and really find the best person for that position.
Willey doesn't care.
I'm not going to vote for Trump. I'm not going to vote for Kamala.
Willey's considering a write-in candidate for the 3rd straight election. And this will also be the 3rd straight election someone new will call the White House home. In Lafayette Square Park, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Thanks to Dave. We also went out to Howard University in D.C. It's where Vice President Kamala Harris went to college, checking in with how students are feeling about her potentially earning that nomination for president. One student that we spoke with says that he's grateful Harris can represent both African Americans and an HBCU on a large stage.
I think that the representation is very much needed. It's long overdue. It's a great feeling knowing that I'm going to an institution that is preparing me for things like this. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not I am going into the political system, I just think it's important to just have that representation.
Vice President Harris graduated from Howard University in 1986 with a degree in political science and economics. All right, getting to your local forecast with Scott Sumner. Scott, how are those temps going to fare this week?
I tell you what, if people were voting for temperatures, they would vote for those temperatures that we have out there right now, because they're not terrible, they're not scorching hot, but they are summerish out there, and that has produced a couple of potential showers and even a rumble or two of thunder, as noted here around the Chapel Hill area. And that's not North Carolina, it's Chapel Hill and then Piscataway, and that's not New Jersey. That's all in PG County here. And that's this is an area, a storm that was actually severe about 8 o'clock or so, 8:15. Went to about 8:45, and you can see the trajectory. It's moving towards the south and the west, and this future radar shows that continues to weaken as it heads towards Bryan's Road. As we widen out the view, we still have some more showers and storms out there, as noted. One in the orange area, and also heading towards Spotsylvania. We'll talk about that and show you what we have for Monday's radar coming up.
All right, Scott. D.C.'s police chief Pamela Smith is marking 1 year on the job. It's a position she inherited with near historic crime surges and homicides and in carjackings. Smith sat down with D.C. News Now's Leonard N. Fleming to discuss year one and some perceptions from the public.
Chief Smith tells me she's happy that crime is down significantly in the district, and it is a result of shifting strategies. But she says she's not done working, even though people say they don't feel like crime is really down.
I know what crime was like when I was appointed by Mayor Bowser July 17th of last year.
In 2023, violent crime was 39% higher than it was in 2022. That's according to D.C. police statistics, and homicides were up 35%, the highest in decades.
Robberies and carjackings and just overall crime, and really getting in here and looking at the data and the statistics and really analyzing where we needed to start.
Today, on Smith's one-year anniversary, violent crime is down 33% and homicides 29%. Help came with Mayor Muriel Bowser's crime bill that gave the Metropolitan Police Department more crime-fighting tools. Violence usually surges in the summer months, but
we didn't wait for the summer to begin addressing crime. We started addressing crime last year.
Not everyone is convinced, though.
No, we don't feel safe.
Lucille Leach of Southeast D.C. lost a son to murder that remains unsolved after 8 years.
I hope they stop lying about the crime rate, because the crime rate is not down.
Clarence Dorsey agrees.
Certain things might not be happening as often as they were. Doesn't mean that crime is not going on.
Lorraine Walker says crime isn't down in her mind, but the chief's performance?
Every time something happens, she's there. She's talking about it. To me, she seems like she's pretty good people.
Smith says she acknowledges the crime perceptions and that more needs to be done.
What our job is to do is to continue to have those conversations with those members who don't feel safe and to determine what we can do better.
Smith tells DC News Now she's not going anywhere, and this is a job that she plans to stay in for a long time. And what grade does she give herself? A B+. Reporting from Southeast, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
Stats do say that violent crime is down right now this time of the year compared to last. Moving on, in the district, fire officials say one firefighter and a man are hurt after an apartment fire in Northeast today. Officials responded to the fire on Benning Road at a two-story apartment building around 5:15. The man hurt in that fire was sent to the hospital with critical injuries. The firefighter was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Meantime, several folks are without a home tonight, and investigation continues. And in Maryland, Montgomery County Fire says that one person was hurt after a tractor trailer slammed into a bridge and a car on I-495. That trailer ended up being lodged in the underbelly of that bridge. Crews responded to the crash on the Beltway near River Road in Bethesda around 2:15 this morning. The person who was hurt in the crash was taken to the hospital. No word on their condition at this hour. Some lanes were blocked, no doubt, today in the area of River Road as investigators were looking into the crash. And new tonight in the Commonwealth, Fairfax County police say they've arrested a 17-year-old for hitting and killing a man while allegedly driving under the influence. Officials responded to that crash at the intersection of Lorton Road and Timaran Drive around 11:20 last night. 35-year-old Jamar Caper was found suffering from life-threatening injuries. Taken to the hospital, that's where he died. Detectives believe that narcotics may have played a role in the crash, and speed is still being investigated. Police in Fairfax County, they're looking for this man who they say burglarized a dental office. It happened on Little River Turnpike in Annandale back on June 21st. Police say the suspect broke into the dental office, opened a safe, stole some cash, and took off. If you know anything, call police. And more local news in the Commonwealth. The University of Virginia is getting rid of its second fraternity after an investigation found that fraternity guilty of hazing. According to a report made by the university earlier this month, 2 other fraternities, Sigma Alpha Mu and Pi Lambda Phi, are also under investigation. Officials report that they had tried new members during lineup sessions, as they're called, were forced to eat food and things that were not edible, which caused vomiting and loss of sensation in limbs. Yikes. The fraternity's international headquarters did not respond to emails for comment. Well, in Maryland, 8 new schools are coming to Prince George's County. The county will replace 14 outdated schools in areas like Brandywine and Hyattsville. The project will cost $800 million and will have to be paid over 3 decades. Some are saying that price is just too high.
Set up, it's like a mortgage. So you think about when you buy a house for $200,000 and you look at that amortization table, you're paying almost $1 million for that house.
The state's Commission on School Construction will make a final vote on the build in the next coming weeks.